Hello, this is Chloe Blingett, and I'll be presenting an analysis and comparison of the top 5 best-selling cards within the One Piece set, OP12 Legacy of the Master, and the Pokemon set, Mega Evolution. And the goal of this is just to look into the differences and get a better understanding of the differences between the One Piece buyers or One Piece fandom and the Pokemon buyers and fandom. Okay, so when choosing the top 5 for each set, I paid most of my attention to sales volume, market price, and market price changes. If you've watched any of my previous presentations, the way that I calculate the top 5 is very similar to how I would calculate my top 10. Sorry, I realized some of the numbers are wrong. So I figured out my top 5 by sorting the top 10 that appeared within the set on TCG Player when sorted by best selling. And the ones collected, I ranked them all based on price point, price change, and sales volume individually, and then I calculated the final ranking using a point system based on their placements in each individual category to get my top 5. Sorry, that was really fast. So essentially, I would collect the data of a card. Specifically, I would get its average price point averaged from its market price on TCG Player, and its ungraded price on price charting. Its price change, which is based off of, I think in this case it's 3 months, the percentage price change within 3 months based off of TCG Player's graph. And then sales volume was determined by me. I would take a look at the graph, see how much it sold on TCG Player within the past 3 months in this case, because I'm looking at the price change within the past 3 months. Its consistency, etc. And then I'd also look at its eBay recent sales, because that isn't factored into TCG Player's calculations. I'd rank all of the cards based off of this, so highest price point, first place, lowest price point, last place, and then etc. And then based on their ranking, I would give them a certain amount of points. In this case, because we are dealing with 10 cards, first place would get 10 points and last place would get 1 point. And then I collect all of those points and then essentially put them into this equation to get their final score, which in this case is their points from their price point ranking plus their points from their price change ranking times 2 plus the points from their sales volume ranking times 4, and then I total that to get their score, and then I'd sort them based off their score, and that would be our top 5. So I will be comparing the cards based on their rankings. The number 1 best-selling card in OP12 will be compared to the number 1 best-selling card in Mega Evolution, and so on. And each slide will have both cards present, as well as the explanation of why I think both cards are in their ranking within their respective set. And then I will be making comparisons and commenting as I'm doing that. Let's get started. Oh, and then I color-coded it. Orange is related to the Pokemon set, blue is related to the One Piece set. So our number 1 rankings in each set, in this case we have Vinsmoke Sanji TR versus Mega Lucario EX 188. So we can talk about character popularity first. Lucario is one of the most popular non-Gen 1 Pokemon, but even just outside of that, Lucario is the push chase Pokemon for this set for Mega Evolution. And the way that it's his face on the box, and it's his cards that are being pushed as the chase cards. This card specifically is being pushed as a chase card, but we'll probably talk a little bit more about that later. Sanji is also very popular, in this case relevant to the media. Lucario is also relevant to the media. Sanji is an OG Straw Hat crew member, so he is just naturally quite popular. In this case, related to the media, this version of Sanji, Vinsmoke Sanji, anything tied to the Vinsmoke lineage carries extra lore weight, which then increases its popularity among fans of the media. I didn't talk about media in the traits here, but Lucario is also relevant to the media. He's very relevant to the original XY series within the anime, and then within the game as well, because he's an ace Pokemon for a gym leader. And then we can also talk about forms, because we talked about the Vinsmoke lineage. In this case, we can talk about forms, which this is a Mega Evolution. I think from this, for OP12 and OP13, because they are within the Mega Evolution collection, Mega Evolution is going to be relevant. So this is specifically Mega Lucario and not regular Lucario, and Mega Evolutions just tend to perform well as cards. This card I put a trait of playability, but I think specifically this might apply a little bit more to VGC and Pokemon than the card game, which is just that it has strong competitive credibility across formats. This is also a full art card. We'll talk about rarity a little bit. This is a treasure rare card. Treasure rare cards tend to be premium chase cards and sought after by collectors, similar to full arts. Full arts for Pokemon. Basically, all of the top 10 bestsellers within Pokemon sets are all full arts, in the way that full arts are just the chase cards. They're the cards you look for as a collector. They're the rarer cards, similar to how treasure rare cards tend to be premium chase cards. Full art cards tend to be premium chase cards. And then the traits kind of differ here. Vinsmoke Sanji, you see a weight of artwork. Foiling tends to be louder and flashier than SPs, and fans consider the cards cool and stylish in this case. I didn't add a note about artwork, but we can just look at this here. Pokemon love their monochrome cards for some reason. In this case, we're looking at a gold monochrome card. And they also tend to be their push cards, which leads us into advertising. This is the push chase card for the set, which makes it popular and sought after by collectors, which basically means that Pokemon releases the set, and in advertising the set, they're like, hey, this is the card you want. This is the card you should be looking for. And then because of that, that just increases the popularity. Moving on to ranking number 2, Corona 034 versus Mega Venusaur EX 177. This is very interesting because, like I said before, in Pokemon sets, you will always find full arts within the bestsellers. I think of the Pokemon sets I've analyzed, which to be fair have only been 3, there's only been 1 non-full art card, and it was a regular trainer card. As opposed to One Piece, you'll actually usually find a number of cards of a not special rarity, quote unquote regular cards within the top 10. You'll usually find a couple. And in this case, this is our number 2 card, which is very interesting. We'll analyze that a little bit more later. They both are carried by character popularity. In this case, Venusaur is specifically an original Gen 1 starter, which makes it popular among longtime fans, and it creates a nostalgia factor. It's also the final evolution of a Gen 1 starter, which increases its popularity. Perona, on the other case, like I said, I don't know if I said this one. Quick disclaimer, I know quite a bit about Pokemon, I don't know that much about One Piece. But apparently, Perona has a strong, dedicated fan base who will buy any Perona cards, so this card is up there simply because it's Perona. Or Perona's fan base will collect Perona cards no matter the rarity, and so Perona is up here. Looking onto the form, going back to Venusaur, we talked about earlier how Mega Evolution cards just tend to be up here for these sets because of its form. Honestly, character popularity is kind of the only overlap, so we're going to go over them individually. We'll just go over Mega Venusaur first. This is a Mega Evolution card. Mega Evolution cards tend to be up there because of how popular the forms are. Price point, this card is often cheaper than other Gen 1 starter Mega Evos. So Charizard, for example, is probably one of the most popular Pokemon, and definitely the most popular original Gen 1 starter Final Evo. So because this card is often cheaper than Charizard, which is more popular and therefore more sought after and more expensive, this card is considered a smart alternative for those who can't afford collecting Charizards, because it's still an original Gen 1 starter Final Evo. Sorry, I keep saying that, it's super long. But it's just not as sought after as Charizard. It's still as popular and has a lot of the traits that make Charizard popular. And then, once again, full art, which I've already talked about. Perona has a little bit more emphasis on the unique art style. This actually does have something to do with art style, but I don't think I can mention it within this top 5 right now, but that applies a little bit more to collectability than artwork. But talking about this, so this Perona card has a unique art style and rendition of Perona, which catches the eyes of fans and collectors, but a big reason why this regular card that doesn't have a special rarity is up here, mainly if you'd look at the ranking, it's up here because of sales volume, but the sales volume is probably due to its playability. So Perona cards, and I think Perona in general is often used in control or tech rules, which gives her gameplay relevance despite the meta. So in this case, she's a popular card who can stay popular because of her gameplay and her flexibility. It doesn't matter what the meta within the card game is, she is flexible enough that she will always be relevant. And because of that, players seek after this card. And that goes into the fact of, actually I don't know if I've mentioned it yet in this presentation, but I'll say it now. Within the One Piece TCG is the Pokemon TCG is targeted towards collectors. In the case that a lot of what is printed and a lot of what is put out there, the advertised chase cards, the fandom is just mainly made of people that collect the cards and don't play the card game. As opposed to One Piece, which kind of has a balance of players and collectors, and so you will see playability as a factor within the top bestsellers within One Piece cards, but not as much, or sometimes maybe not at all, within the bestsellers for Pokemon. Pokemon is just very much more weighted by, much more influenced by collectors. And because of that, playability doesn't usually play a role. But playability does play a role in One Piece, as can be seen here. Card. Bartholomew Kuma, I'm sorry if I'm saying that incorrect, and Mega Absol EX, another Mega Evo. Talk about characters again. Kuma's popularity has spiked recently due to recent story revelations. So in this case, Kuma's character popularity is contributed by the media, so the anime and the manga, and his presence within the narrative. Opposed to Absol. Absol is also a very popular character. He has a strong and dedicated fan base. In this case, he is mainly up here because of video gameplay. I don't actually know what his relevance is within the anime, or even within the video game narrative. I don't know if he has much relevance there. But among people who play the game and who look at Pokemon, Absol is just a very well-liked Pokemon because of its aesthetic, its darker aesthetic, which makes it appealing to certain collectors and fans. And then also this is Mega Evolution. As we talked about, Mega Evolutions will always do well. Mega Absol specifically is one of the more popular Megas, which has partially to do with its character popularity, but also has a lot to do with its Mega Evolution design. Sorry, I'm like processing. You'll also notice this isn't a special rare card, but playability isn't in there. This one's a little bit more carried by character popularity. Anyways, artwork. This is an appealing DSL artwork despite it not being a card of high or special rarity. So it's just a pretty good quality card, but because it isn't a special rarity, it isn't as sought after by collectors, or it isn't as expensive as special rarities. And so therefore, it's cheaper than alternate rarer versions, but essentially it's a good quality card of a popular character at a lower price, so it will sell, it will have a broader audience, it is more affordable. In this case, we talked about the aesthetic, the fact that its aesthetic actually contributes to its character popularity. We can also really quickly just go over the fact that it's a full art, and because it's a full art, it appeals to collectors. And sorry, 4th rank. This one's interesting. I'm sorry, both Burst and Lily's Determination. So this is an event card. This is an event card in One Piece, which is essentially a card that captures an event or moment. This is a trainer card, which is a card that isn't of a Pokemon, but instead of a relevant trainer, either within the video game or the anime, or both. So I'd argue, if anything, if you were to try to be like, oh, Pokemon cards in Pokemon are like character cards in One Piece, then in this case, trainer cards in Pokemon are kind of like event cards in One Piece because of their relevance mainly to the media, if that makes sense. So similar to how event cards capture a certain moment within the manga and the anime, trainer cards capture a certain character within the manga and anime. A lot of the Pokemon cards are more relevant on the Pokemon, which is a little bit leans a little bit more towards being relevant to the video game than the anime, depending on what the Pokemon is. But this one, this card just is more, this specific card, specifically because it's Lily, is more narrative driven, similar to how this card's popularity would be more narrative driven. And so we can start talking about popularity and media. So in terms of Lily is one of the most popular modern trainer characters, and in terms of relation to media, Lily has a very strong anime and game presence within the storyline of both, including her in a larger way. Hey, I think I phrased that a little weird. Essentially, Lily's just very relevant to both the anime and the video game. She plays a huge role within the narratives of both, and because of that, she tends to be quite popular. Both Burst, this is named attacks from Sanji are extremely popular, especially flame-based ones, which this is a named attack from Sanji. And then this, like I said, it's an event card, so it's an event in the anime or the manga, and players and fans love owning signature moments rather than generic effects. And so you have that media relevance driving in. We also have art style in both of them. This specific art style for Lily is very appealing, it's very detailed, very bright. Character expression is captured quite well. I think it captures her personality quite well as well, which is really nice. In the case of this art style, it's a little bit different because you're not looking at a character, you're more capturing a moment. It's explosive and dynamic and has a manga-esque style, and it has dramatic framing, which is very appealing. And then rarity. This is similar, okay, I'm gonna really quickly turn this to the full art trainer card effect. Full art trainer card effect. And what that is basically is a thing among Pokemon collectors or within the Pokemon TCG, where basically full art trainer cards just always tend to perform well. And so because of that, it also contributes to rarity because full art trainer cards aren't usually seen a lot. Or, sorry, I heard something. Are we good over here? I don't know if they're rare, but they're sought after by collectors, essentially. All art events in this case are relatively scarce. I haven't seen a lot of event cards in general, but all art event cards are relatively scarce, and therefore they're also sought after by collectors. I'm sorry, I'm gonna really quickly do something. Actually, I think it's fine. I'll do it before the next video. I think that's it for our rank 4s. Now we're at our last one, rank 5. Ooh, okay. This card has a really long name. Demon Aura 9 Sword Style something 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 DMG. This is another event card, and this is Mega Lucario EX 179. We got Lucario back. These are rank 5s. So we talked about character popularity with Mega Lucario, specifically in relation to this set as well, since Lucario is kind of the pushed Pokemon for this set. This event is actually also driven by character popularity in this case. A lot of people talk about Zoro hype when they talk about the popularity of this card. This is also an event card, so media is also a contribution. Asura is one of the most iconic power-up moments in the entire series. Honestly, the traits kind of differ from there, so I'm going to talk about each of them individually. The artwork for this one, very similar to the other event card, visual chaos with multiple effects, artwork, and it catches the attention of collectors because of it. And also the name. This one's very interesting because it has an extremely dramatic and long name, and because of that, it just attracts attention from collectors. It gets people to look at it more. And so that also contributes to its popularity, but it isn't super related to artwork and the visuals, right? For Mega Lucario price point, this is an alternate version of the top chase Pokemon, but at a lower price point, so it makes it more affordable and therefore more sought after, or gives it a bigger audience. Also, collectability. This card will be sought after simply because it's a Lucario card within this set, and there's quite a few Lucario cards within this set. And so collectors will get this card just so that they can have all the Lucario cards in the set, if that makes sense. Also, full art card. And I think that is it for all of my comparisons. We talked about how playability is a factor in One Piece and not as much in Pokemon. We compared event cards to trainer cards and how those kind of have similarities. Talked about media relevance in relation to both of them and also character popularity. How rarity is much more of a factor in Pokemon than it is in One Piece because of how much more of a factor playability is in One Piece. And I think that's it. Thank you.